concepts of percent markup and percent markdown related to the percent equation. Think about this question during the lesson. Marty buys plain cell phone cases, then decorates them to resell online at a higher price. What is the percent markup on each phone case? Markup is the amount of increase from the cost of an item to its selling price. The markup as a percent increase from the original cost is the percent markup. Begin by drawing a bar diagram to represent the problem and define the markup. Which bar in this graph will represent the whole? Why?
Select your answer.
The orange bar represents the original cost of the phone case, $7.20. $7.20 is the whole in our problem. It is 100%. This blue bar represents the selling price, $11.25. The difference between the two bars represents the percent markup. We can use a little mental math to subtract. The markup is $4.05. Next, we can use a percent equation to find the percent markup. In this situation, the part is the markup, the percent is percent markup, and the whole is the original cost. Substitute. The markup is $4.05. Use P for percent markup. And the cost is $7.20. Divide each side by 7 20 to solve for P. If we write this fraction as a decimal, and then express that decimal value as a percent, P is about 56%. So, the percent markup on each cell phone case is about 56%. Now that we found the percent markup in this situation, how could you explain the difference between markup and percent markup? Use the values from the example. Markup is the amount of increase from the cost to the selling price. In this example, the markup is $4.05. The percent markup is the percent increase of the markup over the original cost. Here, the percent markup is about 56%. Which is equal to the $4.05 markup divided by the original cost of $7.20.
What is the percent markup on a $300 phone sold for $465?
Markup equals percent markup times cost. So we are looking at our bar to the right. Orange is $300, which is the cost of the phone. And then the blue bar represents the markup cost, or the cost that they sold it for. So the difference between the original cost and the selling cost is $165, and the percentage is what we are going to solve for. So 165 goes here, that's our markup, and then the P is the percent markup times the cost, which is 300. We have to do the inverse of multiplying, so we're going to do 165 divided by 300. We're going to divide that on both sides. That cancels out. And then so 165 divided by the 300 will give us a decimal, 55 hundredths. And so as a percent, you move the decimal over 2 spaces, and now we have 55%, and then our markup percent is 55%. That's it.
The local furniture store pays $110 for a chest of drawers and sells it with a 40% markup. What is the selling price of the chest of drawers?
Let's start with the equation. So step 1, they represented it with a bar diagram, and we have our selling price and the original price. Step 2, we have the percent equation that I mentioned. Markup is equal to percent markup times the cost. So they replaced the markup with the variable A. We don't know that yet. We know our percent markup from the problem at 40%, and $110 is the cost of the drawers. And so we multiply the two numbers together, we get 44. So the markup amount is $44. And just to check our work, you just add the 110 and 44 to get 154. So they're adding that $44 to the original cost, and that's what they're selling it for. What is the selling price for a $45 pair of shoes with a 15% markup? I'm going to start with the equation. The equation is markup is equal to percent times the original price. If you start with that each time, this should simplify solving it. Okay, so that's our formula or equation. Now, the markup, we don't know what that markup is. So we're going to replace or substitute M for markup, and that is going to be equal to the percent. It tells us in the problem that is 15% markup, but we want to write 15% as a decimal, so it's going to be a decimal in front of the 1 and 5. And just a sidebar, anytime you have a percent, to make it a decimal, all you have to do is take the invisible decimal here and move it over to the left 2 times, and that gives you your decimal. All right, back to the problem. So 15% times the original price is $45. They give us that here. So 45. So now all we simply have to do is multiply the 15% times the $45, and we get 45 times, it's going to be 6 7/75 is what the markup is. So that's $6.75. So now we take that markup of $6.75 and add it to the original cost of the shoes, and we get $51.75 as the selling price, including the markup of these shoes.
Eduardo wants to buy a wakeboard that is on sale. If the sales tax in Eduardo's state is 7 5/10%, how much will he pay for the wakeboard? Markdown is the decrease or discount from the original price of an item to its sale price. The markdown as a percent decrease of the original price is the percent markdown. To begin, use the percent equation to find the marked down price of the wakeboard. Notice that a percent markdown is a percent decrease that is specific to price. The markdown, M, is equal to the percent markdown, 30%, times the original price, 180. Multiply. M equals 54. The sale price is $180 minus $54, which equals $126. Now, use the percent equation to find the sales tax. The sales tax is now the part, and the new whole is the sale price. The sales tax S on the wakeboard is equal to 7 5/10%, or 75 thousandths, times the sales price of $126. Simplify. S equals 9 45 hundredths. Eduardo will pay $126 plus $9.45, or $135.45 for the wakeboard.
Find the percent markdown for an $80 jacket that is on sale for $48.
The equation is still the same from marking item up as it is marking it down. So the equation or expression formula that we always use is markdown is equal to percent times original price. Okay, so now we know the original price, which was $80, and the $48 is what it is on sale. But the markdown would be the difference of the original price and the markdown price. So 80 and 48 we need to find the difference of, and the difference of the two is 32. So the markdown is $32, and then the percent is what we don't know, and we have to solve for it. So then we now have to divide on both sides by $80, and that gives us the percent by itself here. And then 32 divided by 80 is equal to 0.4, or 0 4/10. But as I mentioned before about a percentage, if you take a decimal and you want it to be a percentage, all you have to do is move that decimal over 2 places to the right. And so our percentage is 40%. And that's it.